Our thanks to all three of you for that reporting there. And joining us now, Democratic Congressman Jared Moskowitz of Florida. He's also a member of the House Foreign Affairs Committee. Congressman, thanks so much for being here with us.
Thanks for having me.
I just want to first get your reaction to the killing of Hezbollah's leader.
Well, look, obviously, while we want there to be calm in the region, I think the world should be celebrating, including Americans, that Nasrallah is no longer. This is someone who killed Americans, bombed embassies, and spread terror across the world. I also think it's good that Israel restores deterrence for all of these proxies on behalf of Iran, so that they recognize that, yes, while October 7th happened, Israel has one of the most capable militaries and capable intelligence agencies in the world. And so I'm happy Nasrallah is gone. I'm happy that the apparatus of Hezbollah is also being demolished. Israel cannot continue to survive with both Hamas and Hezbollah, Iranian proxies, on its border.
And I've spoken with some Israeli officials just in the last couple of hours, and it seems like the message from them is that they want to press forward with this military offensive and continue to keep their foot on the gas, as it were. So I'm curious if you align with President Biden and his administration on the issue of a ceasefire. We just heard that clip of him tonight. They continue to push for a ceasefire, both with Hezbollah, but a more broad ceasefire agreement as well. Do you agree that that's what should happen now? That's the best way forward at this moment?
Well, I think there should be a ceasefire in Gaza so that we get in exchange for the hostages, right? We cannot forget about the hostages. We got to get a ceasefire in place. Of course, Sinwar, who's still sitting in a bunker somewhere, the leader of Hamas, is still putting his people at risk by not getting to a ceasefire and continuing to change the terms. So we still have to focus on getting the hostages out. As far as what's happening with Hezbollah and Lebanon, remember, it wasn't Israel who attacked Hezbollah or Lebanon. It was Hezbollah who decided to get involved and to launch over 9,000 rockets into Israel, kill 16 people on a soccer field, make 50,000 plus people flee their homes because they wanted to join with Hamas on October 7th. And so, you know, right now, Israel is in the process of dismantling Hezbollah and probably needs to be given the ability to do so. And then when that is completed, and there is no longer the threat, there are no longer these weapons, and the Israelis can return to these homes, you know, then we can talk about a ceasefire.
Yeah, so it sounds like, I just want to make sure I'm understanding you right, that when it comes to Hezbollah and what's going on in Lebanon, you think the Israelis should be able to pursue their objectives right now and then talk about a ceasefire?
Well, unless the ceasefire gets you those objectives, right? So hold on a second. If Hezbollah is willing to withdraw and go back behind the line and let the Israelis return to their homes and stop firing rockets, if they're willing to do that, then we should have a ceasefire. But Hezbollah is not really willing to do that. And so then that's why I think the Israelis need to continue to press until Hezbollah is willing to withdraw from that area.
And you just heard my colleague Kevin Liptak kind of underscoring some of the tension that exists between President Biden and Benjamin Netanyahu, and then just between the governments writ large. How would you characterize the relationship between U.S. and Israel right now?
Well, look, I can't comment, obviously, on the relationship between President Biden and the Prime Minister, but I think I can say that Israel and the United States relationship right now is almost never been stronger. I think the administration has shown at every turn that they have Israel's back, right, to defend itself. I think that's why the Iranians, quite frankly, continue to second guess what they should do here, even as their proxies are being decimated. You know, President Biden has moved in so many troops and a significant amount of military equipment to try to keep Iran in a box and to try to keep, obviously, this war from spilling over and having continued direct conflict between Iran and Israel. That wouldn't be good for the Middle East. But what is good for the Middle East is that Israel continues to degrade Iranian proxies that are not just on their border, but that, you know, allows Iran to continue to terrorize all the Middle East. All the other Arab countries, by the way, don't want a strong Hezbollah, don't want a strong Hamas, and they don't want a strong Iran, and it's Israel who's the one who's delivering that.
Yeah, and I hear you on all of those points. I do think it's interesting that you think it's stronger than ever, just because we have had all of this reporting about how frustrated the administration has been recently, especially when they were trying to negotiate what they thought was this 21-day ceasefire, and then Netanyahu went a different direction. There has been tension between those two countries.
Well, I don't know. Look, you have friends. I have friends. I get frustrated with them all the time. But that doesn't mean that we're not good friends. And that doesn't mean that we don't back them up when they're under attack from all sides. So, look, I'm sure there is disagreements and frustrations. But as far as sticking together, backing up Israel on the policy, I think the administration has done that at every turn.
And also, I want to ask you, my colleague Jeremy Diamond is reporting that Hezbollah's response over the last 11 days has not come really anywhere close to delivering the type of major retaliation that Israeli officials thought could be possible. They do believe that Hezbollah can and will likely regroup. How do you see the next 72 hours playing out? What are you anticipating?
Well, the hope is that what the Israelis have shown Hezbollah is that they can not only take out the military equipment on the ground before it's launched on the long-range missiles. They've shown that they can disrupt their communications and that they can take out their entire leadership, including their leader, including the guy who just replaced Nasrallah. Within minutes, he was taken out as well. And so the whole idea, again, is for Israel to restore deterrence. Israel looked like a soft target on October 7th, so that, the Houthis, Hamas, Hezbollah, other Iran itself, and then other proxies in the region look like, okay, maybe there's a moment where we can all go after Israel. And what Israel's trying to do is they're trying to move that line back and remind people not to do that. And so I think Israel is in the process of the last couple of weeks removing the leader of Hamas, removing now the leader of Hezbollah, showing the Iranians that Israel's reach is deep into their organization, into their territory. I think that's important to get to these ceasefires, because you need the other side willing to agree to a ceasefire. And hopefully, as Israel puts more pressure on them, we'll eventually get to that point.
All right. Congressman Jared Moskowitz, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you. Appreciate it.